PewDiePie review! Alright, so I just want to thank everyone for subscribing to my channel. We finally hit 100 subscribers. It felt like I would never hit 100 because it's been such a slow progress. But I would just like to thank all of you for subscribing. Must be my videos are halfway decent if I've hit 100 subscribers. Feel like they're making progress and they're getting better. So hopefully we'll keep moving forward, and the next step would be hitting 200 subscribers. So let's get there. Alright, so this is something that's been really bothering me for quite a while now, and is how much
fake news
is out there anymore. Just seems like a lot of reporters and news stations, they don't want to do the work anymore, but they have to get a good story to keep the audience entertained and coming back. So a lot of these media stations are now like just making up stuff, or they're just getting a teeny tiny fact. Like they'll take a 2-hour clip and they'll take 10 seconds of it, like one sentence, and just completely blow it out of proportion. One example of this is Vox Media. They've taken some tiny little clips out of some of PewDiePie's videos and just completely blown them up. Pretty much calling him not a Nazi, calling him racist, and really it's just a bunch of BS, because Vox Media, all they're trying to do is come up with a story that will get them more views and more money, just playing off PewDiePie. Right now PewDiePie growth is just completely outrageous, really. Within a month he got what? 1 million, 2 million subscribers. The numbers and the growth is just unheard of. But T-Series and PewDiePie are just neck to neck for the most subscribed channel, and Vox Media just saw this as an opportunity to grow themselves off from PewDiePie. So pretty much what they did is they took a couple small clips that we'll go over of PewDiePie videos and just blew them out of proportion, pretty much making up BS that isn't even there. Did PewDiePie make 1 or 2 mistakes? Yes, but he actually was a lot more thorough than most people would be. So it's kind of just ridiculous, because you have so many news stations that they don't have the facts, they don't have any type of platform to even grow their story up from. They're just pulling stuff out of thin air, hoping it would work and that no one would caught on. Today I'm going to review a PewDiePie video from December 17th, 2018. Where PewDiePie pretty much just went over Vox and their articles, and he pointed out a lot of the issues that they have with that article and just tore it apart. I think the saddest part about all of this is PewDiePie has a series called Pew News. And on Pew News, he shows more facts and more truth than most news media anymore. If I was to turn on the TV and watch CNN, Fox, any other news media, at least PewDiePie goes on and he shows the facts right there and let you decide. He gives you his opinion, but he even says, "This is my opinion on the subject," even if I'm not supposed to give it. But he's not twisting the story to his opinion. You still have the opportunity to decide for yourself what you believe and what you think. without pushing his belief and his concerns on you to pretty much you can interpret it any way you want. So one of the things that Vox does is they try to not push the blame on PewDiePie completely. They try to push blame on YouTube itself. So pretty much they're calling out this corporation saying, you have someone on your platform who is racist and sharing Nazi jokes or inappropriate jokes, and they're pretty much pushing like, oh, you should ban them, they're not good, they're gonna ruin your reputation. But the issue is that would completely backfire on YouTube and Vox, because PewDiePie, he has Twitter, he has other social media. So if YouTube decided to just completely ban him, destroy his or erase his account, then PewDiePie or Felix still has other platforms that he can get the information out on, and pretty much that would backfire and cause a major uproar over on YouTube, because they fired a very, very popular creator based on news media that is pretty much telling a false story, and they don't have real facts or nothing to stand on, but they're trying to push and prod YouTube to do something about it, just to cause a little more conflict and controversy. And that's all they're looking for. They're just looking for some conflict for a good story to cause an uproar, get more people interested in their story, reading their story about what PewDiePie is doing, because if someone looks it up, their story will be the only one that pops up, because it's not based on real facts. They're pretty much just taking these tiny clips out of these videos and completely blowing them out of proportion. So another thing that they do is they're pretty much playing mind games. So they pick a picture for the headlines of PewDiePie with his eyes shut, kind of making somewhat of a dumb face because he's in the middle of talking.
Don't be rude.
Anyways, so pretty much this is something they would kind of do in warfare, just not too extreme. So say one country was fighting another country where their skin color was different, they spoke a different language, they didn't quite look the same, they would make up a name to call these people. So pretty much the tactic was they would dehumanize them so that the soldiers didn't feel regret or any issues with massacring these people, because they weren't people to them. It's pretty much like calling someone a dog. If you call them a dog, you're not calling them a person, you're dehumanizing them. Therefore, it's okay to destroy them or do wrong to them because they're not a human. And this is kind of the same thing what Vox and a lot of media does, is they pick stupid pictures of someone that they want to write a bad story about. That way they look dumb, they don't look like they should know what they're talking about, and it just strengthens their story that someone is racist or unintelligent. So the sad thing, like one of the main focus points that Vox is kind of trying to call PewDiePie out for, is he recommended 27 channels in one of his videos that he enjoyed watching some of their content and wanted to share some of the followers or subscribers that he was getting. Because he's been growing so quick, he wanted to pass some of it around and share all the growth. So it's something he did to be good, and it backfired because he picked so many channels that there's no way he could know all the content that these creators had. So one of the creators had a video from 2 years ago with some Nazi jokes and stuff in it. And that's pretty much the base that Vox is calling him out for, saying that he's pretty much a Nazi because he recommended Nazi content. And you can't go through every video a creator has. Like, if someone was to recommend Pewdiepie, Vox could say, well, he has Nazi content. Yeah, but that was 3 or 4 years ago, and Pewdiepie has thousands of videos on his channel. There's no possible way to go through every single video. It would take forever. He didn't even know these references were in this video or these videos, old videos on the channel. So then Vox came right back and said, well, there was the one scene in the video you single-handedly recommended from this YouTuber, and it was a car running through a crowd of people. Now, unless you live in the US and saw on the news or heard about the issue where someone drove a car through a large crowd of people and killed someone, you wouldn't know. If you saw this clip, it could easily come from a movie, a TV show. You just never know anymore because they make so many realistic clips to put into movies and stuff like that, that as far as he's concerned, that's what it could have been. Unless he saw on the news, because he does not live in the US, he could have never known about this incident. So he even tested his theory that, you know, he had no idea what the footage really was. So he asked several people he knew if they knew what it was, and they had no idea. So maybe you can say he's lying or that's BS, they should know, but unless you live in the US, no one cares. No one cares what that footage was, if it was real or if it wasn't. If you live in another country, like if I saw a clip of someone being assassinated, I would just assume it was from a movie. But it could have really happened over in England or Russia or another country that I would not know because I do not live there and I do not see the same news stories as they have. So another point they were trying to make is in one of Pewdiepie's streaming videos, there was someone with a name pretty much mocking Jews. But they were in the background, they came around the corner and then right back into the background, so you really don't notice their name. And I'll show the clip, and it's stupid because no one really notices this. They even said it, a reader pointed it out, because it's gonna take a lot of people not paying attention or just checking out videos to pick up little things like that. Because now they're looking for it. They're looking to find an issue with his videos, and it's in the background. He's not focused on that whatsoever. And when you're playing online, you're just thrown into a group. You don't pick who's in it or not. They could be racist, they could be sexist, they could be murderers. You just don't know. You don't know them in real life. You have no idea what they've done or what they will do. And most of the time you don't even see that in video games. So just because someone has a racial name in the game, you cannot pick that you play with them or don't. Normally you can report them, but PewDiePie didn't even notice this guy was in the game or notice the name or knew it was an issue. So just to like prove how ridiculous Vox has been, they also claimed in the article that Hacker Giraffe was a 9-year-old. So this kind of just proves the point. They don't know what they're talking about, because the running joke or meme is that all of PewDiePie's subscribers are all 9-year-olds, and it's the 9-year-old army. So it's just like a ridiculous joke, but Vox took it serious. So they're claiming a 9-year-old hacked thousands of printers to print off subscribe to Pewdiepie. So I just want to point out, and moving into 2019 and getting farther into 2019, we really need more people like Felix who are willing to go online, make videos calling these media stations out, but not just calling them out saying it's BS, but calling them out with facts. He's showing the facts that anyone could make these mistakes, for one, and two, they're just blowing them completely out of proportion. And a lot of this stuff is pretty much out of the control of Felix himself. And really, he's done the research, he dug into it to show that Vox was wrong in these situations and that they really should have gotten more information and dug a little bit deeper before they came out with these articles. And then even after this video, Vox went back and changed some of the articles just so they sounded better, which is a little ridiculous. They should have done it from the start, dug deeper, and got actual facts they could grow up from. And they probably would have gotten a lot more publicity if they had done it correct the first time. But I'm sure they'll get a lot of negative feedback. I'm sure it helped them to grow some, but really they just kind of hurt their name and brand in the end.